Bro, five minute-er? It's crazy. I literally just started. It's insanity. Who needs sleep? That blows. I don't remember if I need you, buddy. Oh, you won't. No, I don't need. Let me down. I have playing in the background, by the way. Alright, Drifloon, I don't have. Get the fuck back here. I don't know how much talking I'm gonna do. It's been a long day. Turn this down too. Kind of like forgot how to stream. Actually, earlier today I did, I guess for lack of a better term, get my mood back to stream. Oh my gosh, Kit. It's Pokemon time, so if you're in regular here, you know this is Kit's thinking time. It's the real Kit time. Well, I mean, let's be real. All of it's real Kit time. But this is just more when I think. Sorry, you can't hear the music that I'm listening to in the background. Nah, lately, just being real, having huge doubts when it came to streaming anything. Even with these like 2 weeks out, I kind of was giving up on a bunch of stuff. On the plus side, like, I do know my writing is solid. That's keeps getting reaffirmed, but Kit's not doing well. That being said, still here, and I've realized that I can still make people laugh, which this is kind of just a huge oddity to me lately. You ever like you haven't seen somebody laugh or smile around you in so long, just get, you know, constantly told that you're not fun to play games with, or told that, like, you know, a list of how many people they would play games with, I'm at the bottom of the list. But I have like a group that actually seems to have fun when I'm around. It's different. It's strange to me. It's probably the loudest I've also been on a stream. I'm talking, for those who don't know, I'm talking about Floridor's 12-hour stream today. I was accidentally, I guess I would say, for the entire 12 hours, give or take. It was a lot of fun. I just was surprised. I'm used to people just being able to barely tolerate me for an hour to two. So to be around the entire 12 hours was surprising. But it kind of gave me, like I said, the I wouldn't say like mojo back, but like, I don't know a good word that I can really put there. a very interesting kind of feeling. You get beat down quite a bit over a long period of time, and having just one good day, it really does lift you up. The problem is, this is what kit we're talking about, and brain never stops thinking. So I was a little bit in trouble for yelling as much as I did, which that's fair, I suppose. So hello, Carter, welcome to stream. How's it going? The name? Gosh, this is why I've been waiting for a new... Oh, okay, well. Stream just... you say hi, and the stream just dies. Let's try that again. Hello, welcome to the stream. I don't know why the stream just decided to die. A literal moment I said hello. But, hello. Hope you're doing well. Am I trying to catch? Whatever suits my fancy. I think my computer's giving me errors because this computer's been on for like 16 hours. This is the longest intro to a FaceTime distortion. Interesting. Candy Charm? Yeah, I've 100%ed this game. Do you have any shiny Pokemon? Nope. Nope, I don't know what a shiny Pokemon is. Never seen him before. So welcome to the stream, Goated. Hello, Weavile. Alpha Sylveon, huh? Amusing, amusing. Any alphas? Personally, I think that's a waste of time. But you do you, Chief. Alright, isn't there one more? Let me see if I can find Sneasel. You should be around here somewhere. Sneasel. That's not a Sneasel. I think I already saw all three. Is it you? Where in the balls? I think Suicune Soul Silver. Nice. Okay, so Weavile's right there. Good to know. Then there's like a Sneasel somewhere. Where is the third one? Okay, that's a Sneasel, so you gotta be like over here. Gotta spawn like right around here. Is it up here? There you are. Okay. That's cool. Hi, two Onyxes. And now we wait. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but we are just waiting. Sorry, thinking. No, I only need to look for Sneasel and Weavile. That makes sense. Okay. Let's go to morning. I guess to like properly answer the question that was asked if I have any shiny Pokemon, uh, quite a bit. I have quite a few in this game. No, will I get them eventually? Probably, because I'm just doing different sort of challenge. So. Like, there's probably an easier way to hunt the, whatever you call them, the space-time distortions. There's probably an easy way to do it. No one's figured it out, and I'm not one to figure it out. So, I could just have it running in the background. However, that requires paying attention. I have considered... I know a friend. Would I be? Am I feeling better? To be determined. I'd say to be determined on that one. But hope you're doing well. So I was thinking, like, probably the best way, or like the easiest way to do it with paying little attention is just coding a bot that will just, like, alert you when a space-time distortion's happening. And what I mean by that is it will, like, just check my, like, capture card screen and look for, like, the white text to say space-time distortion, and when it matches, it'll, like, give me a sound notification. And then that way, you know, it will alert me that it's happening, so. I know a friend who can probably code the bot to do it, just to, like, you know, make the sound alert. I'm not gonna have it do the searching for me, because that's lame and such. But also, like, I'm a busy guy. I got other things I gotta do. I got other commitments. I don't need to be waiting 5 to 40 minutes staring at a screen for something to happen before they show up. So if I I do have a friend who's a coder. I could just ask him to see about doing a bot that just looks for a white pixel of a certain, like a certain, I guess shade? Is that the best word for it? Yeah, I guess shade. And that way, because, like, the space-time distortion words would probably be, like, very similar to the same color. So if it's like, hey, here we go. And that way I just stay in the same spot, wait, and then just have the game running. And then just keep going. Because until somebody finds a way to get them to spawn consistently at 5 minutes, which I don't think might be possible, the more I look into it, the less confident I am that that's even a thing. So, with that being said, I think the easier way, if you're going to do it, is just have some sort of alert go off. Because there's no sound alert when a space-time distortion shows up. Spread it like peanut butter jelly. Also, it's probably jarring. I don't think anyone from Forest Communities as I stream, though. Waterfalls? I don't understand the connection. What does waterfalls have to do with the space-time distortion? TOTK. Let's see. Let's analyze what that could be. I'm gonna say Tears of the Kingdom. Is that what it's called? I've I've never played Tears of the Kingdom. Most Zelda games. I know about Blood Moons? No. Oddly enough, I did play the Hyrule Warriors version. Age of Calamity, was it? I was also saying, because I was on a 12-hour stream earlier, like, I'm surprised that my, like, voice is still holding through, especially all the screaming. Why I got talked to about the screaming from, like, roommates is like, oh, you need to be quiet. I'm like, there's times where I had to be up early and y'all are still yelling and stuff about Repo or, like, other games. I mean, I'm gonna be quiet, don't get me wrong, but it just felt odd. But I mean, I'm gonna take a guess what you mean about the Blood Moons of Tears of the Kingdom. If that is what you're talking about. I would assume there's some sort of like alert or maybe cutscene that plays? Is that what you're talking about? Because if that's the case, then like that would be interesting, right? Is that way you have an alert like, oh, there's a space-time distortion forming. Sure, it's like a 30-second cutscene or something, right? That would be more than a sufficient. But also, like, listen, I need a break from, like, DB stuff today, so. I felt so bad on DVD. One of Flora's friends seemed to be, like, really, worried that I was gonna be, like, upset because of how they played and stuff, and it wasn't, like, up to, as this community knows, the kit standard of win every game, and forget what the meaning of fun is. But, like, it was so chill and calm that, like, I didn't care. But I also, like, it gave me some slight PTSD. That's the best word I can come up with, or acronym for it right now. But there's probably a better word for it. Where, like, I just get reminded that most people don't want to play Dead by Daylight or any PvP game with me because of my difficulty understanding the concept of fun. That was why I also, like, feel like it's better that I don't play, like, multiplayer games with people. I'm glad I'm still, like, clip farmable? Is that a word? Just because of all the shenanigans that I get up to? That was interesting. There's some pretty interesting clips that's probably gonna be on Flora's, like, TikTok or something. Go play Tears of the Kingdom, it's worth it. I got way other games I'm more interested in to play before that game. And also I need the time. That being said, I do have 2 weeks off of work right now, but also, like, probably, like, what I'm deducing is I'm going to be on this vacation for 2 weeks. I have to resign. It's more or less have to. Doge might say otherwise, but it's a have to. If they cut it early, I can apply for unemployment. I believe. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, that's fine, because I'm still going to be applying to places. But I'm probably going to have 2-ish. I would say like 2-ish months, maybe. Let's see. That's around the glitches, and it teaches you a lot about game breaking, system overloading mechanics. I remember in the past I used to be big on glitches and stuff. But, like, I've been less, like, apt at using glitches to my advantage. Unless it's gonna save, like, a ridiculous amount of time. I've been more, like, doing things by the book, as it were, lately. But just a lover. I thought you're moving offices. Oh yeah, B. You don't have the whole story. Sorry, work story. It's Pokemon. We can talk about whatever the hell I want to. Like, if you're here watching this game for the shiny hunting, not the not the best streamer to watch of that, I'll be honest, because I hate shiny hunting. If you're asking why I'm doing it, it's because of a video sort of thing. Remember the route and saving time? Yeah, but no one really knows how to save time from doing that. So, but if you're trying to say that there's like maybe a place or something to actually like do it, I don't entirely. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, once again, it's probably because I've never played Tears of the Kingdom, so I don't understand how the waterfalls come into place or the blood moons. Like the only thing I can think of is you're saying what it should be like, but I don't know. But also, this is my cool off game. This is my game to like think, so I don't care how long it takes. Once the space-time distortion Pokemon are the only Pokemon left, yeah, then I'm gonna want to really speed up the time. But right now we're hunting EVs, so. Okay, so to answer your question, B, it just dawned on me I have not eaten. Okay, that's fine. So I originally worked at one office, right? And then manager got fired. That was, I think, what most people know from the community as like what's happened. But we haven't talked about what's happened since then. I've alluded to it a little bit, but I haven't like fully talked about it, you know? New manager took over the office, and I was more or less forced to switch offices for 2 months. That's fine. Don't care. Like, pretty simple. Other office, super slow. Everyone's really nice. Cool. I don't know why they haven't told me, but another person from my original office is resigning. And no one's decided to tell me about it. And the only reason I know is because somebody who was not even at the office told me and has the evidence to prove it. So they're resigning. Somebody at the new office that I'm helping out at put in a 2-week notice and then left after a day. So that office is now struggling, and then they want to take the staff from the other office and say, fuck that office, move it to my original office. Okay, cool. Kind of sucks that you're saying fuck the other office, but like, whatever, you know? That's whatever. However, I did decide to have a little small meeting with big higher up and new manager, just trying to get some information, being like, hey, my stats are pretty good. I'm taking care of this office by myself. I've got things handled. And the meeting essentially boiled down to, hey, you're doing a great job. Everything you've known for the past year and few months has been utterly wrong. You're doing everything terribly, and we need to just reteach you everything. As a matter of fact, like, you shouldn't even be helping doing some of the higher end stuff because, like, you're just bad at your job. Like, I'm obviously, like, putting hyperbole to it, right? But, like, yeah. I don't know what you mean by that. I don't think you mean Dead by Daylight, right? Sounds like a... I don't know who that is. Essentially, like, if this is who that is, then sure, I guess I am. I'm somebody who likes to do a job to perfection. I read about the job, I make sure everything's like going smoothly. I'll make sure that like everything is as perfect as it possibly can be, and making sure that whatever workforce I represent, I'm doing the high end of the work, right? I'm trying to make sure that like I'm trying to get everything done. Um that's kind of the long and short of it, as it were. So if that's what that means, then yeah, I guess I am. Is that a bad thing? I don't think so. The fact of the matter, though, is look up some of his clips from the Office TV series. Oh, it's from the Office TV series. I have never seen The Office, so maybe something to do later. Not something I would really want to do right now. But anywho, so they want to like reteach me everything, which like okay, I don't really care because I'm just gonna show that there's a reason why like my stats are the highest. There's a reason why I know what I'm doing, and there's a reason why like my home office was really not happy to have me move offices, right? Like they were not too happy about it. The thing that actually aggravates me is they don't want me to talk to our specialists at all. For those who don't know, I work at a dental office. So like we have some great specialists that I actually talk to outside of work, and they're super chill. They're awesome. Connect really well with them, and I'm essentially being told, "Hey, we know that you're pretty good friends with them. Stop talking to them. We need like you're not that role, so you need to stop. Do the fucking grunt peon shit. Also, we need to retrain you because your stats might be great, but they're not great. You're bad." That's like the long and short of it. And it's like, okay, I don't think I want to work for a company like that. The thing is, it's been noted to me. They can talk to whoever they want, though. That's what I'm saying. But like, once again, they fired my manager, like my main manager, for more personal reasons than professional. They tried to say it was professional. It definitely was not, considering everything that happened up until that point. So in my case, I've been told that they are trying to also implicate me in a lot of like reasons why my home office has not been doing well. To which everyone at the office has my back and is like, "Yo, Kit knows what he's doing. He's doing great. He actually's got this shit on lock." Like, and even recently, like the manager at the new office that I've been helping out at, she even was like, "Yeah, like our numbers for like calls and everything are like the lowest they've ever been." And when I mean like lowest, as in like we missed maybe like 3 calls in a week, and that's because I'm on top of that shit. Like, I know what I do. And they are trying to say that the reason why I miss a bunch of calls is because I'm lazy, because I don't pick up the phone, and that I don't want to help out. Swap with the Tooth Fairy? Yeah. Marketing? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And the thing is, like, we have, like, this is the thing that, like, kind of tipped me in that everything they're doing is more, screw, like, the patients and screw the, like, the actual smart dentistry that they want to do. Like, it's all about how can we make the most money possible. And I just want to be known. The staff that are currently there, including the person who is also having to leave for other reasons that I'm not going to go over, they're fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Like, that office is great. I just wish they weren't under the name that they were. And finding out that they want to upcharge like an arm and a leg for stuff that's already expensive enough as it is, and then if I can't get them to start like actually start any treatment, it's my fault. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, goated. Exactly. That's what I've been saying, but they don't want to hear it. So they're trying to say that I'm doing everything wrong and that they want to have grounds to fire me. Problem is, it's a big, corporation sort of offices. They want you to mutually leave, so that way, one, it looks better on your resume, but two, that way they don't have to pay you unemployment. However, my what I've been told that can potentially work. I wouldn't even respond. I'm going to be putting in a 2-month notice, is what the plan is. Essentially just breaking down, hey, it's been fun, I have another opportunity, yada yada yada. It has nothing to do with any of the recent stuff that has happened. It has nothing to do with new management, that sort of thing. Like, which I mean is borderline true. Borderline. But if my job is already in danger, if my only if you're hired elsewhere. Well, if I give them a 2-month and then they decide to terminate me earlier, like I can at least refer back to this is what I sent them. This is like what my last day was supposed to be. They terminated me early. So, but I also don't really care about unemployment because I just want to go right back to working. So that's the thing. So yeah, just sit on it, wait for a bit. When you say that, are you saying like just wait for them to reach out to me or just not resign? Because frankly, I have quite a bit of confidence that I should be able to find a job like pretty quickly. I want to start my search tomorrow. Not do anything yet. That's what my roommates were saying, but also the other office I've been in after they've been hearing what's trying to happen to me, they're saying that I should just leave as soon as possible. Frankly, I just want to be out of there at this point. It's just getting worse and worse. Not even say anything. I'm just not that type of person. Like, I'll just move on to the next place. Go from there. However, there's more that's also going on that I don't really want to talk about on stream. Like, I understand the logic in it. It's not the first time I've done something like this. However, as my roommate rightfully pointed out, a lot of the time, like, it feels like I should, like, there is something I must be doing wrong, because this happens quite a bit. Maybe there is, but no one ever gives me any feedback, so... I mean, none of their business, right? Exactly. Oh, I see what you mean. I might be a little bit tired. I have been up for quite some time. So I hope I'm reading things correctly. I do want to make sure I use my vision insurance, though, before I leave. Because the fact that I have these glasses for a while, and it's still hard to read, like, some of the names on screen. But yeah, that's just everything going on work-wise. It's already in the works. There's a little bit of drama going on that can add and should be avoided. Yeah, the problem is they're gonna keep chalking down to me because I've had like there was the one big meeting that I had where they like went over everything and tried to say everything I did wrong. And luckily, my head dentist was like, that's all incorrect. So what? And they just ignored him, which like fucking wild. I appreciate that he came to my rescue on that aspect, but the second one, I felt like I was just being belittled. So, but hey, they win if so. But anyway, that's all the work stuff going on. Gosh, it's weird because like physically right now, I do not feel tired in the slightest. Like, I feel like if I go to sleep, like nothing's gonna happen. It's just I can like lay there and just be like, oh, okay, well that's fine. Like I've done a few like 24-hour, like 12 to 24-hour streams before. So like this was not anything new being a part of. It was odd being just a guest that long. Like that just felt wild, but whatever. It was cool. But like dang. It's a crazy day today. Because what games did I play stream? Because we went from Peak to Repo to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to DBD. And that was just a whole wild ride. Like absolutely wild. After not playing Mario Kart for a very long time, I'm really happy that I could just jump back into that game. That being said, dang, some people love to run the meta and will clown on you if you don't run the meta in Mario Kart of all games. It's crazy. Peak was interesting because last time I played Peak, I got told that I am not a good player. Not because like I'm bad at Peak, but because I just don't work well in a team. I just speedran through it. Mr. Scooty. Is Mr. Scooty the bear, right? Sorry, I know there's probably a little bit of delay after the stream light crashed a little bit. It's the bear. No, it's the toy looking. Because I know there's like the bug. Like it's that with Waluigi is meta. There were so many Yoshis riding. Like I think it was like they were riding the blue bear with the blue wheels. There was just a bunch of Yoshis, and then there was also a bunch of Shy Guys in the little like Bugmobile, also the blue tires, like the small lizard tires, obviously the best tires. Like, there's no arguing that point. For me, I didn't care. I was a boo in a shoe. Like I was just a king boo in a shoe. And it was great. But also like we're there to play fun. Blade Unlock the Bro, it's the best card. Okay. I'll have to look again to see like which one that is. But also like we were there more to have fun, and the amount of screaming I did was crazy. It's a wonder why I still have a voice, but like best boost and handles. I feel like I have an idea of what cart you're talking about. But no, it was a really fun time though. It was a really fun time. I actually like really enjoyed it. I was terrified though because there was so much game being talked up, right? Like hyped up. People have like way more hours than I do. and like they played the absolute balls out of like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and meanwhile I'm just like, I've had like 80 hours in the game, and I haven't played this since like 2022, 2023. I don't even have the Deluxe Pass, and oh, I'm first place. Like, what? I felt so bad. Like I was actually starting to get quiet, like amongst the screaming, getting a little bit more quieter because I felt bad when you have people who talk game, and then it's just the, oh, Kit's good at this game. All right, well, it's another one to add to the list. And I'm like, I don't know. You ever shiny hunted on a DS? If so, what game? No, I hate shiny hunting. I know that looks weird considering what I'm doing right now, but I do really hate shiny hunting. I think it's the most boring, lame thing you could do. That being said, the reason I'm doing this is not to have the shiny Pokemon. It is for just a dumb content idea that I have. Honestly, it could be the same could be done if I hacked them all in. However, since we're already like, this is just the easiest game to hunt shinies in. Like, just chilling. But no, I've not hunted like actively. Probably when I was a kid, I probably did the Pokemon Platinum method, but because that one wasn't too bad. And I know about it, but I don't think I actively did it when I was a kid. Yes, I do understand that Scarlet and Violet is easier to shiny hunt. However, I'm trying to make sure that everything is here from this game. Once again, has nothing to do with anything smart. It is purely just a content idea. But also, like, I'm extremely patient. So if it takes like 4 or 5 hours, then it takes 4 to 5 hours. Scarlet and Violet I have my own idea for. I'll worry about that. What else happened today? So yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was fun. Peak, it was just Flora and I. I am baffled? Yeah, I guess baffled's the word. Because, like, I didn't speedrun through it. It actually did help out a bit. That being said, I forget controls of games pretty easily because I play so many different types. So I thought the throw was to hold down the left click. It was not. And TNT might have been involved, so. Do I not have the patience to hunt a 192? If there was some actual, like, gain for it, sure, I would wait for that. If it takes, like, 3, 4, 30, 40 months, and there's actually, like, a reason to do it, like an actual gain for it, sure, I'll do it. Have me do the same thing for that much? I don't care. Not like I'm doing much else. If it's just to say that I did it, less intrigued. Less into that one. Because I would rather, like, get something for it. And if you say that the thing you're getting for it is a shiny, literally, do you want me to grab a Game Shark or an Action Replay? We can show you how easy shinies are. That's besides the point. What else did we play? Repo. Repo, I think Repo's the only time I did legitimately get upset. I think that was the only time during the entire 12 hours that we got upset at. So, no little games for Shiny Chance from saying you lack the patience. Well, judging by the fact that on my Fire Red playthrough, I got a Spearow, like a base odds, like, shiny Spearow. Definitely is boring. If I had to do it, I can, sure. But it's also just boring. I'm gonna say what it is. But, like, no, we did, it was a Spearow, right? Or was it a Pidgey? One of the birds. Nope. You obviously enjoy hunting? Oh. I don't know what we're trying to get at here. I really don't. Like, this is just my pass the time thing. I don't want to play, like, let me break it down here. I don't want to play Dead by Daylight right now because I've been playing that nonstop for the past few days. Not really too interested in Hades right now. I'm just taking a break from it. Could play Stellar Blade, but it's also really late, and I'd rather stream that earlier. And I have ZA, but I'm not going to stream ZA until we get the cursed thumbnail. Once we get the cursed thumbnail, more power to you. But for right now, I should save. Until we get the cursed thumbnail, I'm not going to play ZA yet. So I'm just doing this to pass the time, because I don't really have any other thumbnails or games that I really want to play. Oh no, you escaped. Crazy. Plus I need to do this if I need to get... And then I lose track. Spend so much time I can... Sorry, I don't think I've actually said during the stream, like, the reason why we're doing this. I'm trying to do an all-shiny Path of Solitude video. That's the reason. But I felt like it's disingenuous if I just got shinies from other people. So, to make it actually more interesting, I'm just getting the shinies myself. Yeah, no. I don't really have anything else that I really... I'm trying to think of, like, other games. Like, I know, like, I was still playing, like, Dead by Daylight with, like, Callie and... But I was also, like, so zoned out. Like, I was just straight zoned out. That being said, if anyone wants just random ass shinies, I can just get rid of your Pokemon or whatever. Got plenty. I don't even remember how many EVs I needed. Feeling hard, feeling soft. Come out, come back. We are undead. Glad that the shiny noise also is louder than the music, so that's good. Wanted to see if there's a potential alpha. East Abra. I don't need those. Your heart, No, also over the years. Sorry, once again, these streams are just whatever pops into my head. We go from one point to the other. Repo, sorry. Okay, before I get to my other topic, Repo, what pissed me off? Fucking dying through a wall. I was so upset because like I was like, okay, this is my chance to actually like kind of like learn about like maybe a scout like sort of play style, like looking ahead, figuring out where everything is, and then organizing where it's gonna go. But like early on, I died to a robe that killed somebody, and when it killed them, they were still like their hands were still through the wall, so I got killed through the wall. Oh, I was so upset because I was like, dang, like now, like I have to play a little bit more cautiously. I can't just drop down, otherwise I'm gonna die. So, like, I can't do that. I was so irritated. And then everyone kept buying HP. And I was like, okay, you know, that's fair. You know, a lot of things can like one-shot you. And I get it. When you're at low HP. But dang, I was very much like, I shouldn't have died. But it is what it is. And then DBD. Games don't well. We lost, I think, every single one of them except for me surviving twice. I think somebody else made hatch. Yeah, no, gold, I think. No, okay, so that's everything that I want to talk about that. I mean, there's still more, but brain is Fritz. I don't know what it is with me talking to people, though. Not that it's like a bad thing to talk to people, but like my general response to conversation is usually like negative, and not in the way that, oh, Kit's just being depressing like 24/7, but it's more the fact that like, how do you put this? Like, I've learned, I think, the older I get and the longer that I've been streaming, the more easily annoyed I get. Hello, Wumple. I think I know the reason why, but like, it's not like anything like anyone can like immediately snap of the fingers and changes and everything's great. It's something that just like, I guess I have been playing like specific games that do cultivate that like sort of audience. But oh man, like I was like, Go, did you at least seem very like at least knowledgeable? So so it's like at least more interesting to talk to somebody like you. But there was like there was like a new person during that 12-hour stream that like I read 2 of their comments in the chat, and I like when I feel my brain cells start to die, like physically feel my brain cells start to die when I read sentences. It just starts like, I don't know. I don't know the best way to describe it. I just don't enjoy it. I feel like I need to start like playing games. Like I know I'm playing Arceus and I'm going to be playing ZA soon. But like I need to like get some games going that maybe I guess attract like more of an older crowd, more that like it makes sense to talk to them and like it feels more natural to talk with them compared to like talking to somebody who's got 2 brain cells. They're rubbing against each other trying for the best and it's just not happening. Or you just see something that just like irritates you to no end and you realize that there's just a whole bunch of people who are idiots. And you're just like, oh, okay. I guess it's something else to also talk about. I got really, really confused So I like had to watch a VOD back for a Dead by Daylight streamer. I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't want to really give a pick. I'm not a big fan of him, to be honest. Like they like I get negative about the game every now and again. Like it's not that big. Like, look, okay. Like I get negative of the game like slightly, but a lot of it's just like the game's the game, right? Like it's just you're playing Dead by Daylight. You already know that like some things are just not going to be fun. Whatever, it is what it is. But like this person, I ended up playing against them twice during like my sixth sort of time, and well, God, they were like actually unpleasant to interact with and play against. And not because like they were like try-harding or anything, or like they were just like going above and beyond. But we're talking like they're just an asshole. And then just like a whiner, like just whining about everything. And I found the Pokemon's reported, hooray! Yeah, it was just weird because I played a killer game against them, and then they complained about the map choice, which I just threw on a random ass fucking offering. So, like, sure, it just shows up and it's bada bing, bada boom. I did get called a name while I was playing against them. Like, that was just the surprise. But I don't know, they just were like complaining how like it was like killer sided, this, that, and the other, and that like I don't need to be a tryhard. And I was playing Huntress, which I'm notoriously bad at. So like I don't know, they were just being like super pessimistic, and even the map they were saying was killer sided, as far as I knew, was like a heavily survivor sided. And I mean heavily survivor sided. So I don't know what was going through their brain. They just like I thought maybe it was just like a bad day, and I tried interacting with them and they just kind of talked down. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. They had like 100+ viewers, which was a little depressing that they just had them up their back. I was like, okay, this is awkward. But then while I was playing Dead by Daylight with Fleur's group yesterday, 2 days ago, I ran into them again, and their entire goal was, because I was only TTV technically, because Fleur was anonymous mode, just not trying to make a scene or something with some other streamers. Nothing bad, just they wanted to just keep themselves. And like they specifically like made a build specifically to like clip farm me. And like I've been clip farmed before. And not like in a secretive way. It was like, haha, I'm going to make fun of this particular streamer because of this thing. Haha. Like this was just like the clip farms I get a part of is like I'm part of somebody's group. I just do funny things because I guess that's my nature. And that is what it is. But good lord, like I guess they were trying to like, their goal was that I should have been streaming, which they should have checked to see that I wasn't streaming. But like they were doing like a jump scare Myers build, so they wanted me to like freak out and like lose it and so on and so forth. And like they didn't. I called it right from the get-go because I had like just a gut feeling. Then somebody rated them. Still, by the way, like over 100 viewers, but like maybe 3 people were talking. So I was not, because I watched the VOD back, by the way, I should mention, because I wanted to see like how they actually played to get to the point that they were at. 2 of us got out, 2 of us died, and they complained throughout like the entire match. But what was interesting is they got raided in the middle of it, and then I ended up looping them by Shaq. But because of knowing how jump scare Myers is, it's not super hard to loop them near Shack because there's like places you can go, but also like I needed to make sure that they stuck with me and not attacking my friends, so I had to like get closer to like aggro them is the best way to put it. And they were like, "How'd you know? Like you should have known that you should have like immediately died and ran right into my arms," and just like kept complaining. And even though I like successfully looped them, they then proceeded, from what I understand, because like I only watched the VOD up to like the next game, but I was told that they like actually reported all of us for being a Swift, and then bailed on a few games because people's names were suspicious enough to warrant a report, even though they did nothing and did not warrant it. I was like, oh, you're just a real piece of work, aren't you? Like I said, I'm not gonna say who it is. It was wild to me. Like, I've seen that before with some like Dead by Daylight streamers, but this was just on a whole other level. I'm glad I like didn't like stick out in their brain because like they didn't recognize who I was after like the previous night. But like seeing that they just were still, it doesn't matter if they're a survivor or killer, they're just gonna complain. It was so interesting to me. So and listen, like I get at the end of the day, like I'm thinking about what Godin said about me. I'm obviously enjoying hunting. I'm not enjoying the hunting. I more so just enjoy talking to chat, or mostly myself. And also because like the vision that I have content wise, like I see it in my mind's eye. Like I got everything like all sorted out. It's just I need to get these myself so that way we can move on. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's see. If I were doing this, so like here's the thing. If I were doing this without streaming and without content, if unless there was like a crazy reward and it was like a 1 out of 10,000 chance and I get like an actual like crazy reward that means something, like I probably wouldn't be doing this. But I would have the patience if like, hey, you have a 1 out of 10,000 chance, but like you would get $5,000. It's, listen, if it took 2 years, like fuck it, I'm doing it. Don't care. But with these streams, like I more so enjoy the talking and just like clearing my ever thinking brain rather than the actual shiny hunting. The shiny hunting is like the background. It does bring forth a lot of people who don't seem to understand what a logical thought is. But like that's fine. There are still some good eggs. So. But like I realize a lot of what like I stream and do right now is specifically to get the content. And, you know, I used to kind of like just people for like content farming me. But if that's their content, that's like what their livelihood is, then I become a little bit more like partial to it, I guess. Specifically to be like, oh yeah, you know, you're use me as clips, like that person who like is a complete douchebag that I was just talking about. If they like, you know, let's say I was streaming and I like was one of those stereotypical like screaming streamers that like you can make a whole compilation of because they overreact running into Michael Myers who has no tear radius. Like, cool, that's getting you a paycheck, you know, happy to be a part of it. Maybe just give me like a nod on who I am. Cool. But like that's how you're making money. More power to you, but friend. However, if it's at the detriment of somebody where it's like, haha, let's ruin this person's life because that's going to make me tens of thousands of dollars. It's like, all right, now you can go fuck yourself. And like, that's horrible. That's what I mean with like the shiny hunting stuff. Well, I dislike it, but I can do it. I more so enjoy the... It's one, for content, but also two, it's, you know, for my own interest. I think the reason I'm doing this stream super late, it's like I should be asleep. Laura even messaged me, being like, hey, you should go to sleep. Before I started stream. They have no idea that I left just to stream. That's fair, because I don't really talk about my streams at all to them. But like this is my brain is a lot to think of thing. And with how these past few weeks have gone, and with my thoughts on like the content I want to make, my thoughts on streaming in general, and my like social and like personal life, like I felt like Pokemon's just the right thing to do right now, just so that way I can clear my mind before I go to sleep. Right? Like that's really what I'm doing. Sure, if people who like Pokemon come by and like want to talk about Pokemon, I'm more than happy to talk about it. But frankly, this stream isn't for people who want to, you know, talk about Pokemon or anything like that. Like when we get to ZA, oh, absolutely, we can talk about it there. But for Legends, one, if you're watching Legends, fucking why? But two, like most of the time it's just somebody who they don't like hold this lecture conversation I'm looking for. Go did surprise me though. It was an intellectual one. Talked in circles a little bit. Enjoyable. I appreciate that. I just need to clear my head. I don't have an easy way to do that. Like I can't exactly afford like a therapist or anything. I've been really dumb with money lately. Like really, really dumb. Which is fair because knowing how my brain thinks, you know, I have an idea of why I'm doing it. But I don't care. Caring about himself. That's whenever that sentence actually happens, like that's an actual shock to people. But I care more about others than I do myself. I think that's another reason why I've been like considering resigning, is because I think I've just been too beaten down. I think is the actual reason. Like not only am I in like a place that just like has been constantly beating me down and treating me like trash, and sure the smartest thing is to stay and tough it out until they like finally fire me. I just am done being beaten down mentally. Like we've talked about it, I think, during one of the Dead by Daylight streams where, like, my brain just had to open up and just, like, I had to talk about stuff before, like, moving on. But I have no IRL friends. And what I mean by that, I should clarify in case, like, some people know me, is here where I live, I don't have any friends. I have acquaintances through Doge and Alley, sure, and Doge and Alley are my roommates, but most of the time they sound like they're more fed up than with me than actual like being a friend. And to be fair, I've not been like the greatest friend to them either. I've just kind of been keeping to myself. But like, I don't know anybody. My previous job, I don't talk to anyone there. My current job, none of them would even remotely think, like, if they had to be like, All right, name people who you would hang out with at work, like just in order from most likely to least. I'm that least likely person. Like they don't have any interest in like getting to know me better, like afterwards. And I know Yuffie like talked about it during one of the WDA streams, where like I could just go to a bar, like search online to like connect more with people. But I'm such an introvert and such a like not a people person, because I go about like friendship the entire wrong way. I know Cassie brought it up to me based on the shenanigans I've done on Flora's stream, because that's the only way I know how to make friends. It's a really fucked up thing to think about. It's just how it goes, I suppose. But it's like made me think like this, just like I said, when being completely open about what's on my mind. Like I have been considering moving back to Arizona. Or moving somewhere where it's just cheaper to live. How's it going? Is it Luke? Yeah, Luke. Sorry, my glasses suck. Hope you're doing well. Super late. But yeah, no, I've been like considering moving to like still on the West Coast. Is like the idea, but I don't know. Like I'm trying to find like different places and where I could live. Is my general idea. I wish rent prices were as like cheap as it was back when I was like a catering bartender, and that warehouse manager where he got like $500 a month for like rent, and he just lived in like a small studio apartment that like would just get snowed in every now and again. But like groceries and everything were so cheap, and like he was working a good job to actually pay that. Like that sounds awesome. Don't have to like super associate with people. Just hide in there. Great. But no, like I think the cheapest I've been finding, there's like there's a few rundown places that are like $800 a month. But I don't want to move anything like farther past West Coast. Like I would still maybe like still stay in Mountain Time, maybe. I just don't want to go anything further, because once you start going to like Central Time, then you have to deal with tornadoes. And I'm just afraid of natural disasters too. Like natural disasters are scary. Apparently there's some sort of volcano, like 2 volcanoes or something that were supposed to erupt. Oh, that was like terrifying to read about. It's like, by the way, what am I doing? Looking for shiny Eevee. And 3 will spawn here. So I'm looking for shiny Eevee while talking about whatever the fuck is on my mind. But yeah, no, there's like, yeah, there's a news article. It's like 2 volcanoes about to explode. One of them, it's not going to do shit. It's like, oh, cool. The other one, going to cause absolute havoc. It's like, oh, okay. That sounds lovely. Am I in the blast area? No. Cool, but like that's still terrifying. It's so funny to me. But it's also terrifying. Like I get I worry. I try not to think about it, but like I do worry there's gonna be a time where it's like, I'm sleeping, it's 5 in the morning. We're just chilling, having a good time, having a good just nap, having wonderful dreams. Oh, by the way, the house is about to break down because of an earthquake or a tree falling on it. Have fun. You're dead. It's like, oh. Okay. Natural disasters are scary. So it's like, if I go to like a central time zone place, then you start running into like tornadoes. And then if you go East Coast, you have hurricanes to deal with. Nor'easters, those are terrifying. Uh, it's just like, no, I'm gonna stay West Coast. I also was considering maybe like getting a citizenship to Canada and just moving there. However, based on my current situation, nope. I think I'm essentially stuck here for another year. So I just gotta figure out what I'm doing. Unless, you know, that was something else to consider, but I also just don't want my parents to like suffer from what's going on. That is something to consider. But it's burning bright. I should just go to sleep. I really should. But I do want to see if I can get at least one shiny EV before the end of stream today. I think I need 2 or 3 more. Like I said, my brain's just on the fritz right now. So if I try to go into sleep, like I'm not gonna be able to get any sleep. So I came from the broken streets. Ooh, other game that I played recently that I'm like thinking about how to make a video on it. I might have to talk to Spring because he probably has, as an artist, he probably has a good idea of how I can do what I'm thinking of trying to do. I did 100%, and this is off stream because like if you were to watch it on stream, oh, like, listen, I might be interesting with like things that I talk about and like stuff I gawk over or like my anime life sort of thing, but like it kind of, I mean, it would just be a bunch of reading, so I guess it would be interesting. I could have played it. It's Asbury Pines. Asbury Pines? No, Asbury Pines, excuse me. There's no H. It is a idle mystery game. Saw Alexa playing OLEXA. I hope that he does a full series. Really, really hope. Because that game is incredible. And like you don't have to be the biggest fan of idle games, right? And idle is an IDLE, not IDOL. You don't have to be like the world's biggest fan or like even remotely interested in idle games, because you can just speed up the game to ×4 and just go through the game. But the story and the timeline stuff, oh, it is amazing. Absolutely incredible. Literally the entire game is about a murder mystery. But like the actual, like, when you solve the mystery, oh, it feels so good. And like when you're piecing things together, oh, just chef's kiss. Just absolute chef's kiss. The last, like, when I figured out who the actual, like, the killer was, you know, blew my mind. That was like crazy. But then also on top of that, like when they were like talking about like, oh, here's something that happened like 4 hours ago. By the way, it was this character who did that. It's like, what the fuck, dude? No way. Like, but he wasn't there. Like, what? And then you like read the story and figure out like, oh, this is why this happened. This is who this is. And it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. I cannot say enough good about Asbury Pines. If you can even watch, like, I don't know if there's too many people who are actually like not streaming the game, but like, oh, hi. Okay. They don't need to stream the game, mind you, but like, if you could find like some way to either play the game yourself, which I highly, highly recommend, but if you can't play it and you can't be asked to read all of that, and you decide, hey, you know what, I'm gonna like, I just want to read through like what happens, like I'd still recommend getting the game to support it, but like the story itself is incredible. I think the last character, because like I got to the last part, I got introduced to the last few characters in the game, and hi Starly. No, you're a Wurmple. Oh, that's cool. Uh, straight up, it was like, oh, you know, that's cool. Like, this guy seems like pretty interesting. And then you see like where his arrow points, and you're like, wait a second, isn't that when? Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That's the he's oh. And like I was when I pieced together who this last character was, one of the greatest feelings I felt in a while. Like I was so happy after finally realizing who this guy was, and I was like, that's crazy. And then the trailer, like I most of the time hate trailers, but I wanted to like learn about it right before I played it because I was like, oh, you know what's going on. And they do a fade out. Sorry, slight spoiler for the trailer. They do a fade out between like characters because like they talk about the fact that it takes place over a time period or multiple time periods. But they show one character like being like like young to like middle aged to then like extremely old, and you're like, oh, okay, that's the logical place. But then you meet the character and you're like, huh, she's dead. Like she's just dead at some point. Who the fuck is this old character? They bait you so hard into realize thinking that this old character is like the old version of another, and is not. It's not even close. No relation whatsoever. And finally, like figuring out who that character was, oh, it was so good. I do want to make a video on it myself. Not only talking about the timeline, but like there's still some like unanswered questions that I have. Because the game like talks about like time paradoxes and just like time in general. Like there's just some other like crazy things that like you have to piece together, even if you got like the entire like quest log filled out and like everything's all linked together, it's still not going to make complete sense to you. And I loved reading through it, being like, that's what this is. Okay, I get it. So, no, oh, it's such a good game. Like I tell you what, if you're a PC, you can play Asbury Pines. Oh, play that game. I don't care if you hate idle games. I don't care if you just don't want to wait the entire time. Set it to times 4 speed and just go through the game. Read all the lore. Beautifully written. It's given me like my surge to like go through story games again. I've been behind on uh P5X and Blue Archive and Nikkei lately. As a matter of fact, I still haven't read through or watched the 3rd anniversary story, just because like I was so burnt out story wise and there was just so much going on. I'm hoping that not so much tomorrow. I got other things that I need to do tomorrow. But I really want to like go through story games. I actually been like considering like I really want to write my own story, but I really can't like make my own game, you know? Sleep. Oh, dude, Jackal's actually. Can you feel the dark? Can you fix the broken? No, Nike is still a fantastic game. Blue Archive's really good. P5X, I still have to finish the third palace. I just... You know what? That just dawned on me. Let me go back. Yeah, they cut short like one of the things, but I think I'm like actually behind on something. I might just be an idiot. Like I was so delaying doing the story in like the palace. I was like, yeah, no, I'll just delay it. It should be fine. And I think I fucked up majorly. Let me see. No, it ends in 7 days, but I still have to do Tycoon. Okay. See, now my brain is thinking, but it's stuff that I don't want to talk about on stream. And that's the rough part. When you just have a lot that goes through your brain. You know when your brain does something that you really don't want it to do? Just can't help it. Like we're talking... You know, it was really nice today. Actually making people laugh for the first time in a long time. Wonder why I can't do that on my own streams, though. I can do it everywhere else. But then on my own streams, I just can't seem to make people laugh anymore. These thoughts that, like, stick with me, you know? Like... I don't know. Like, no matter what, my skill level when it comes to games is just crazy. Like, getting to level 12 just by yourself with, like, repo. Crazy, you know. Being able to do what I do in Dead by Daylight just by myself is crazy. Making games look like cakewalk. Maybe it's because I feel more free when I'm on other people's streams. I wonder if that's the case, you know? Because, like, when I'm just on my own streams, you know, I'm trying to, like... How do you put this? I'm trying to, like, you know, endlessly chase that. It's like chasing that old glory. Maybe that's the best way to put it. Where, like, previously, you know, having 15 to 20 people in chat, a bunch of friends, and all this sort of stuff. And now all of that is just, like, gone and tarnished. And about, like, 70% of, like, new viewers. I'm going to say, like, 70% if they're not, like, regulars or, like, they don't repeat watch. Is me just kind of, like, treating them as if they're a child, or, like, just vastly, like, not as intellectual as I am. They're not as intelligent, excuse me. Is like, you'll get an idea, like, like, I'll read a message, and then, like, that second message just, like, sets the tone of, you probably have an IQ under 100, or like 90 even. Great. And then I just, like, get frustrated, like, talking with them. It's like, I'm just gonna talk to a stupid person. And it's, like, not fair to them, right? Because there's probably a lot of people who just want to, like, chill and watch the stream and not be, like, critiqued and everything. And I don't know why my brain works like this, where, like, immediately upon reading a message, I just go straight into, okay, what's the IQ of this person? Is this going to be a smart conversation, or am I about to just have to, like, talk to them like they're a toddler? And the thing is, I do understand I play some games that it gets to that point, right? It's like, that's just the general age demographic. I'm gonna be getting, like, people who are, like, 16 years or younger, right? But, like, I think back to, like, the one person who was on, like, Flora stream who was, like, brand new, who just kept talking about just, like, nothing that pertained to the stream. And, like, maybe this is why Flora's just a better streamer than I am. But, like, she could tolerate it and just was, like, kind of alluding to them every now and again. But to me, like, my go-to at that point would have been, like, bro, pay attention to the stream, like, let's talk about what's going on the stream. I do not give a shit about, like, anything that you're, like, interested in. like, that has no pertinence to what's going on in the stream. You're just talking about your own stuff. If you're gonna do that, stream. Or, like, do your own thing. Like, you don't have to come into somebody's chat and be like, ah, yes, you're playing Repo? Let's talk about Fortnite. It's like, okay, but why? Like, that's not what's being played. I know we're talking about Repo, but you should switch to Counter-Strike. It's like, no. So then, and, like, once again, my brain was like, this dude's, like, IQ less than, like, 70 or something. Like, not super intellectual. Like, I just didn't want to associate. I just wanted them gone. And I find myself on my own streams just doing that a bunch, where, like, if it's a regular, right, like, I'll read their message and it's like, I already know, like, I can tolerate this person, they're chill, they're cool, awesome, like, I don't get frustrated. But then, like, there'll be a new person be like, oh, hello, how's it going? And then, like, 2 or 3 messages later, I'll be like, fuck, you're dumbass, you're not gonna be here for longer than, like, 5 minutes, and you're gonna get so fed up about how proper I talk, and, like, just the words that I end up using, that it's gonna go in one ear out the other, and you're just gonna leave. And I think maybe the older I get, the more jobs I've had, the smarter I've gotten. But the smarter I've gotten, it, like, I'm not saying I'm a fucking super genius or anything. Hashtag shoutouts to Super Genius, the huge inspiration for why I stream. But, like, just, like, it just feels like I need to, like, talk to people who at least have some semblance of logic and proper speaking. Like I think I've said it before, where it's like, like the benchmark that needs to be beaten is you have to at least be better than like the bot messages who try to say like, hey, you can buy viewers with this like link, or there's proper capitalization and everything, and like proper punctuation. And if you can't beat that, then like I'm going to think that you might be stupid. But that's not always the case though, because there's people who like they don't want to do proper capitalization and punctuation when they're talking in chat. They're just gonna like be all lowercase and everything, but they're still like they'll still like end off like separate sentences with a period or question mark, exclamation points, what have you. And that is fine. It's just the way that people carry themselves in a conversation is what like determines how I feel like I end up treating them, which is not fair to most people, right? Because there's once again a lot of time you just want to enjoy the stream, and it's why like I've learned that I might just enjoy lurkers lately more than like talking. But it once again it depends on what I'm streaming. Because if I'm streaming like Dead by Daylight, like most of the people who are going to be coming in the chat are just going to like yell at me. Which, by the way, side note, fucking baffles. I'd have no explanation for this. Usually I'm pretty good about the algorithms and stuff. Floor plays and says GG's or anything like that, and person will come in and be like, oh, good game, it was sweet, yada yada, and great. And in the past, I'm not gonna say currently, because currently I'm not the most nice person unless I'm around other people. But in the past, I would say GG's and everything, and they would join, and they would just call me like just fucking names and be a dick and just be like, aha, I showed you. It's like, oh, okay, well, GG's, hope you had fun. And they're just like, you're a fucking loser. And then now I'm just like, all right, well, piece of shit. Fucking lost. Like, GG's. But like, they're just like, why are you so mean? It's like, were you coming here to flame me? Well, yeah, I was gonna do that anyway, but like, why are you so mean off the gate? But then like, once again, floor stream, where it's like, oh, GG's. And then they got like, full group comes in. Oh, that was so great. That was so sweet. And everyone's so nice and stuff. I'm like, wait, where are these people when I'm going against them? Because I just get yelled at like 24/7. And I know it's like, it's not like a difference in stream sort of thing. I think it's just the people I like run into, right? Because, so I was like, in my interim before I like streamed today, like I did stream some Dead by Daylight killer matches. Hence when I interacted with just a very, very awful person. Or streamer, excuse me. And like some of the people who were watching from Forest Community was just like, man, you just like, there's some people who are just like douchebags like you're going up against. Like you've gone up against like I even noted about the fact we going up against like 4 bully squads in a row. Like it was just awful. And I'm just like, how am I, like, is it just a difference in MMR? Is just people want to be douchebag? Maybe they just like, they pull my Steam page up and be like, oh, here's a bunch of hours. All right, let's just make him be like, we're just gonna treat him like a loser. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's so, it's intriguing to me, but it's also like really depressing. Because there, there's times where like, oh, I did some grade A like loops and carried the team and I died, but they did great. And I get fucking a Renato. Sorry, Gold. Renato's cool, but most random Renatos. God, fuck that Richter or Soma player. Like, died on a hook. Good fucking riddance. It's like, oh. Okay. But why? Like, what did I do? Like, you looped for 4 gens. I'm like, yeah, but I'm your teammate. And you left me on the hook. Like, shouldn't I be the one being upset? I don't care, but like, shouldn't I be the one being upset? It's like, no, fuck you, kid. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know. maybe just all the negative experiences I've had is what has culminated into my general response to newer faces. And like I said, the less intellectual chatters, um, compared to others. And like I said, it's not fair to them, but I think just the constant beatdown and just negativity, it gets to a point where, like, if you can't properly handle it, it's weirdly enough, I think there's like a science thing you can equate it to, right? Like, for every action there's an equal opposite reaction, but if you're holding it in, that reaction is just being stored, right? And that reaction is going to be stored until you let it out. And unfortunately, since I don't have like a therapist or friends or anything like that, instead of venting it out in a safe environment just for somebody to listen to, I vent it out at just people I consider idiots. And that's not fair to them. That is not fair to them at all. Because, like, once again, they want to stream, they just want to chat, and they just want to, like, get to know the streamer that they're watching. And it's probably very, like, jarring just to be called names, like, just right from the get-go. And I'm not trying to, of course. It's just, that's what it just feels like lately. And it's not fair to, like, any of, like, the new chatters from, like, the past, I'm going to say, like, 3 or 4 months. Because I've just been generally negative towards them. But then you have stuff like the hate raids that happen to the point where, like, it just reinforces the fact that there's just, you know, idiocracy everywhere. Which, like, I've always wanted, like, my community to be built up on just more, one, positive aspects, of course, but two, just, like, smarter, more coherent, and more logical people that also have the insight in the games that I'm playing, right? Having somebody who, like, knows DVD, like, front and back, like, in chat, who, you know, knows some tech that maybe I don't know. Sick. Pokemon information. Once again, goated, if you're still here, great conversation. I really appreciate talking with you. Probably not, because you might think that I just am referring to you, but, like, that was a great conversation. I just got a little, like, confused about, like, oh, we're now playing the rhyme game, or, like, the riddle game. Okay. I'm not sure why we're playing the riddle game. Like, if this was, like, 5 or 6 o'clock p.m., okay, riddle game, sure, we can play that. Like, I can understand it. We can go from there. But, it's like, okay, that's fine. But, like, it's 1 in the morning. So, like, my brain is not going to comprehend, like, riddles right now. Like, my brain is trying to get just the brass tacks. But, like, I could tell that they were, like, intelligent. I could tell that they, like, understood what they were talking about and knew exactly, like, the way to, like, do X and Y. And awesome. I just wish it was told to me bluntly, not in a riddle. That being said, I'm now gonna have to look up what a blood moon and waterfalls have to do with Pokemon Arceus, or what's it doing to choose the kingdom. But also, like, I need to figure out who this Dwight guy is, and, like, see how I compare, I guess. Which maybe I don't want to. Maybe, like, maybe that was actually supposed to be, like, an insult. I don't know. I'm not good at references to television and such. I'm much better at video game references. So. The problem is right now is because of just my brain, just where everything is. Like, it's what's gonna suck is, like, I'm gonna be like, oh, Saturday, fantastic day, it was great, and then they'll probably not see me again. Just because, like, I don't know. I feel like there's just more, like, there's just better. I feel like I'm just taking up space that other people, other better people could be taking up. Gosh, that sounds like a suicidal person's sentence, which I guess is fair in my case, but I'm not, at least I'm not planning on doing it, so I should be okay. Just whenever I have the day that breaks it, you know. But, yeah, it's what it is. Sorry, that got really dark real fast, but if you've been around the streams for a while, like, that's not any action. Yeah, it's not any new information. It's not happy information, to be honest, but you know, there's times where I do think, wow, I could just put the period right there and be like, ah, yes, there's times I do think, stop, perfect. But no, there's times I do think about, like, the butterfly effect, I think is the best way to put it. Butterfly effect is when you do one action, something like a different action happens. Like it affects something else and you just don't know it, right? So if I pick, like, if I had two apples in front of me, I had a red and a green apple, I could choose one of the apples, and there is another timeline where I chose the other apple that everything was different, right? Like, that's how crazy the butterfly is. I picked the red apple and I'm living the same life that I always have. But if I picked the green apple, there could have been a knock at the door and all of a sudden I got converted into fucking, like, anarchism or something like that. Like, it's not even a religion, just a way of thinking. It could, like, it just, that's something that could happen. That's the butterfly effect. Not as drastic, of course. It could be like I pick the red apple and I lose like a canine, but then if I chose the green apple, I lost like 4 of my molars or something. That's also pretty drastic, but that's besides the point. But I think back to, like, I know some people are just like, hey, you should never just like really dwell on the past. You should never, like, you should always look towards the future. What can you do to improve? Focus in the past. You're just gonna endlessly live in the past, and it's gonna, like, wear you down. I've, like, thought about that. I'm like, no, but I've, like, focused in the past because, like, the past was where a lot of the happier memories are, and the future just is constantly bleak. Depending on who you are, of course. And when I'm, like, how do I put it? Shallows. Big Bidoof. Alright. Sorry, I'm, like, trying to think about the right way to put this. I've thought about, like, I've been really thinking about, like, my streaming career, quote unquote. Like, all the cool stuff that's happened to Flora. Like, I remember when something similar to that happened to me, like, when I was first starting off, and, like, just some crazy shit that happened. Not to the level as what's happened with her, but, like, still, like, pretty crazy. And, you know, the raids of, like, a few thousand people because I just was in the right place at the right time. And, you know, I wondered, like, what if I capitalized on it, right? What if I, like, did something differently? And what if, like, the friends that I made through Splatoon, through early Dead by Daylight, through early Pokemon, like, all the other games I've played and the different communities I've been a part of, like, what happens if I would have, like, actually kept those friends, or not even just, like, kept those friends, but, like, you know, made choices that would allow them to treat me maybe a little bit better so I would still stick around them? Would I have been successful? Would I've actually still, like, had friend groups within the streaming space? Like there's always a bunch of what ifs, and you never can know the answer, which is why you shouldn't focus on like the what ifs a lot of the time. But I do, just because of like, I'm always like fascinated by those thought experiments of like the what if you did this, what if you did that. And like one recently, like I know that the person is like awful because of stuff they did to their ex-partner. But like it was somebody in the Splatoon community. And I was like, man, if I still was like friends with them or like friends with like that group, sure, after like the news got out, we would like not talk to that person again, right? But before that, you know, I'd have like some sort of stability. I would have actual friends in the space. I would be like able to play games with people. Um sure, we all had like very similar like audiences, but you know, I could at least be like a part of something again, you know? But obviously I'm the one who put an end to it. I'm the one who ruined like so many friendships through that space. And it's like, what if I didn't do that? Like, would I have been happy? Would I have been sad? Like, would things have gotten better? Would have they gotten worse? And you never know the answer to that. But it's just an interesting thought experiment to have. And I thought back, there's like 3 different turning points in streaming that like I've like considered. One being, or 2 being, sorry, 4 then. Now that I think about it. 1 is really early on. 1's like middle, and then 2 are more recent. 1 is if I didn't lose my mind dealing with the Splatoon community and being used for essentially content farming, and like actually was a friend to them rather than just, you know, a tool, would things have gone different? Like, would I still be doing Splatoon or a bunch of Nintendo stuff? And I think the answer is yes. Like, you probably wouldn't have seen Stellar Blade or like Ghost of Tsushima, even though I would have wanted to like stream those. I probably would still be focusing on a lot more Nintendo stuff. So that way, like, I was still like at least like doing my part for those like sort of friends, right? Um, but like I didn't, and now like sure, I now stream the full variety. I stream Nintendo and non-Nintendo games, and you know, stream a whole bunch of like crazy stuff. But I lost literally every single friend from that era. Um, and I'm not going to talk about regulars. I'm talking about streamers. Let me make that clear, because like Cheese, Sparks, and Cassie, they come from that era as a viewer. But as a streamer, like I don't talk to any of the Splatoon streamers anymore. I've just been kicked out of all those circles. Take a drink real quick. The second one is when I first switched to Twitch, and like started befriending some Dead by Daylight creators, like some smaller ones, but also like encouraged like Adori to like further streaming and stuff, and like, you know, introduced Adori to Corgi and like all those friend groups. It was like the first time like I actually started streaming with Neko, and I pretty much like, sure, there's been a time recently where they're kind of back in the forefront. Right, Adori is still part of the Danganronpa stuff. And I did stream with Neko for a little bit recently. Recently, as in like 2 months ago. But like, I pretty much lost everybody back then because everyone else was doing better than me, and I was stuck realizing that I was a failure and everyone else was succeeding. And no matter what I did, like it just wouldn't work. But the baffling part, of course, was the fact that I would show up and like it wasn't YouTube Shorts. I think it was it probably was like early TikTok. Would I be used as a clip? But like I wouldn't be like featured in that, you know? Like it would just be like, oh, this is Kit. He doesn't stream, and it's like, ah, interesting, I stream. But like that was like few and far between, but it still felt weird that like there's even like videos that I was just, you know, in, just there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. that I like stopped talking to like most of those people. And then more recently, it's, you know, there's two communities I've been a part of recently. One, I think I've unfortunately fully removed myself from because I'm just not a good fit for that entire group. And then now you have a more recent one where I do feel like I might fit in. Keyword is might. Like, I feel like I might fit in, but I'm still the black sheep of the entirety of that group. I'm referring to, like, just to say it in stone, is Neko and Flora's community, respectively. Neko's community I've pretty much bounced myself out of because I was actively making the game. It's not fun. I was pretty much annoying everybody, and like I felt like I was just really hostile constantly. Like it just was like wearing people down and just was not fun for them. So like I kind of just backed myself away from the group. I haven't talked to any of them quite some time. I think I've actually talked to Sparks semi recently, but other than that, like I haven't talked to Neko, Derpy, or any of them for quite some time. Just because like I feel like whenever they play with me, just it's not fun for them because it's just me being combative and hostile. But then you have Flora's community, right? Where if you were there for the 12-hour stream or like you like have seen me play games with them recently, I'm a lot more like nicer and like calmer around. And I am legitimately having fun. Do not get me wrong. However, like Flora streams should be about Flora. It should be about her community, what her streams are and everything. I'm glad to like support it and add on to it like the best I can just to help like give some content. But I shouldn't be a focal point is my personal opinion on it. And I'm not trying to say like that's what I'm being used as or anything like that. Not at all. Not at all. It's more the fact that I feel, and this might just be Kit overthinking, as I usually do, but like I don't even know how to say. I don't even know how to like say it or anything like that. Like that's the funny part, I guess. Just I think to the 12-hour stream, right? That just happened. It was a lot of fun, but it was also Kit, you're running peak, and I'll listen to what you're saying. Kit's the leader. Okay. Repo. Kit's gonna lead it. Kit died. Okay, we barely lived. Now we're back to listening to Kit, and Kit's gonna just carry and such. Okay. Mario Kart. I haven't played this game in a while. Cool. Like I'll at least be like the general. Like I'll still be like my high octane self when I played that because that's just what I enjoy doing. Like I enjoy being high energy. I just haven't done it lately on these streams because back in parents' house I got yelled at a bunch and now I got yelled at. So I just kind of tone it down. But then, you know, I kept being the one winning out of the community. I was the one either getting first, second, or third. And even if we did get 10th, 11th, and 12th, because just the luck of the draw, I would still be getting like 9th or 10th. Sorry, 10th or 11th. It didn't feel right because like it's a stream to show off like Flora doing great or like her community doing fantastic. It shouldn't be me, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, but it shouldn't be, oh, here's another game Kit's great at, because that's what my streams are, right? It's like, oh, Kit's playing this game for the first time and Kit's already mastered it. Okay, cool. Oh, Kit's playing Payday 2. He hasn't played it in like 5 years. Let's see if he... Oh, and he just fucking completely sight-read a mission stealth and did it. I watched a video of this like one game once. Let's give it a try, and Kit's mastered it. Like there was a joke way back when where if I ever end up playing Mario 64, because I was notorious when I was a kid for never getting a star because I kept throwing the Bomb King off the mountain, like I'm gonna like be like, oh, you know, I've heard about this bomb clip thing. Let's try this bomb clip. Just first try. And like be like, oh, yep, here's another game that Kit's just great at. That's not a bad thing, right? It's not bad to be great at a game. But I should be showing that off in my streams. And I feel bad because it's taking the highlight off of who the main focus should be. And I think probably about like 6 or 7 hours, no, I'll say like 5 or 6 hours into the stream, I just felt so awful and guilty. Like I was having fun, but like people laughing at and with me. People were, you know, enjoying the stuff that that we were both doing. But there was like, oh, Kid screaming, that is hilarious. It's like, oh, no, like we should be focusing on the actual person that matters. And then Kit does more shenanigans they should be doing because it wants to keep friends. And also, was just worried that I was taking away from what should have been a very important stream. And then we get to Dead by Daylight, and I think just Flora's friend just commenting on the fact that they were worried about like upsetting me. Like, is that my reputation? Like I'm still like brand new to their community, right? I've only been with them for like a month, and I'm already known as, oh, I don't want to like upset the professional. I don't want to like piss him off. Like he's scary when pissed off, and I'm like I haven't even been mad. Like I'm just trying to chill, just trying to vibe. Like come on. It's wearing on me. Like I'm starting to feel like I can't like join any other communities because I just worry that like become a big part and it starts becoming less about the person it should be about and more about somebody else. In this case, it would be me. And I think that's also because, and there's a lot of thinking. Welcome to Pokemon Stream, where we talk very little about Pokemon because shiny hunting's lame. But I think back to Blaze, SHSL Blaze's Discord, like one of the first ones. I think it was the second one, actually, which I was a part of, where Kit's jokes for like orange juice. Kit's talk about this. Kit's doing this. Kit's like the superhero. I'm not a superhero. I just talk. No, Kit, you can cheer people up. You can help them out. You can help this person out. You can do. I'm like, y'all, this is Blaze's server. Like, what are we talking about? Blaze. Let's talk about new videos that are out. Let's talk about the reactions. Please don't talk about like what I'm doing. Oh, Kit, we included you in this fan game. That's for Blaze. It's like, why? I have nothing to do with it. I'm like a fan, but like I shouldn't be included. Sure, I'm a good friend of his or theirs, but like, no. And then after getting yelled at by some mods, right? Like, you're making it more about yourself than it is for Blaze. It's like, oh, that's not my intention. I just want to make friends and play games. It's like, well, then you should like stream yourself. And then that was when I already started streaming. And then, you know, did build up a good following and then just lost it all because I'm not a good friend. I don't know. It's just this constant loop. Like, if you've watched these Pokemon streams recently, like, you know this conversation quite a bit because it just always gets brought up in my mind. It's why I've like been considering like, do I not only just like, do I continue streaming, which I do want to, because if I don't, the internet's never going to see me again, probably at that point, which to a lot would probably be a good thing, but to some would be bad soon. But like, it's back to what I said probably about like an hour ago. What do I do to like chase that old glory? Like, what do I need to change? Do I just need to be nicer to like everybody and just like accept everyone in the community? Do I just, play different games? Do I just fake? And no, that's like the crazy. You said the F word. You didn't even say fuck. You said fake. Can't believe it. Do I like fake being bad at games just to like make it more easier to connect? That's the thing, is like there is one game that I'm like actually bad at that people, and this is the reason why like I don't do it, is because Smash Bros, Smash Ultimate. I'm terrible at Smash Ultimate. I quit the game because I lost to somebody who never played the game before, and I just had to like step away. And then we did like a PvE one, and I thought I could like maybe handle online, play it online off stream, and got my ass handed to me again. So I'm not great at every game, and obviously fighting games are my Achilles heel, and FPS games. But like those are also the ones that, from like, if I'm like comparing like analytics from the past, whenever I have played like a fighting game, those do pretty, like they do better than most of the other stuff. And I think it's because I'm just not as good as them. So like, you have people who can like relate to it, maybe? Like that's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong, but like that's just what it feels like. But if you're like, oh, Kit's playing DBD, oh, Kit's just fucking endlessly looping this one person like 3 times, or for like 3 gens, and just went down and is now being camped on hook. Well, this is boring. He's good at the game. We don't need to watch this. I don't know. There's so many like what ifs, and I've like tried to figure like, because like my personality's not going to change. I'm still going to be like the really weirdly philosophical, waxing philosophical gooner gamer. Because yeah, I mean I do play DK after all. Excuse me. Who's like, there's some streams where I'm just incredibly negative and like so much is just going on through my brain that I just can't. I have to like talk about it, and then no one wants to listen to it because chat's not my therapist. I don't have a therapist, so yeah, can't afford one. But then you get like other games where you get like the super high energy stuff, or you like, once again, in Flora's stream, for like pretty much all the games except for Dead by Daylight, you got actually, once again, still actual kit, just in different ways of energy. Is that the best way to put it? Because like Peak, super calm and collected, but also like I was the climber, right? Like I acted as a climber, I roleplayed as a climber because I was the climber. Repo, I was the leader and the person who had the best understanding of the game and knew tech that people just didn't know, that I was playing with, and just teaching everybody that I possibly could. And Mario Kart, the high octane energy of chaos and just reveling in the chaos and enjoying the fun times. And then DBD was just chill all around and me like focusing on how to win. But I look back to my streams, right? Dead by Daylight, you just get calm and collected kit just all the time. And that I just, like if I'm playing solo, I just, I start losing, like have my blood boil just a little bit. But if I'm like playing with like Flora's community, then it's a lot more fun. But if like Neko ever shows up again, because after I'm an asshole, like I feel like I'm just a thorn in their side. So you get like 3 different Dead by Daylight stuff. But then you look at like the Archipelago, right? The Archipelago that I did with like Slime and Doge. The Thai, excuse me, Thai Thousand Year Door and Kingdom Hearts one. And I think it was a really fun archipelago. Don't get me wrong. I think it was a fun archipelago. But oh my lord, I think I was the most boring one out of all of them. Like, I was just so focused on the game, and I was like getting everything done very, very efficiently and just doing really, really well until we had to wait for Doge. And but like Slime and Doge were the ones like carrying a lot of it. And then there's like the repo one, right? Where I got to 12. Huge freaking accomplishment. I was told that there were some people who like got to level 100, but knowing how the game works, I would not be surprised if they were modded. I'm actually very like, confident that they're all modded, or most of them are. Because after you get to 15, like the spawn rate is just so insane that if you think you're just going to go through all that and be like, aha, we made it to round 100, we're the best. It's like, modded or unmodded? And they're like, it might be modded. It's like, well, obviously it is. Because I think, like, realistically, if you're playing solo, you should be able to get to 15 just by yourself. I do really think you could get to 15 by yourself. After that, you might be able to push like 16, 17. I think 18, 19, 20 is like, you just gotta know the game on such an insane level. With like all the moon stuff, right? But like getting 12 like solo as somebody who's like still relatively new to the game, and that's like considering just all the other people who's played the game, like that's huge. Like I did freaking great. Nobody watched it. It's like, ah, yes, this guy who's actually really good at the game, knows the game inside and out, and getting a good time. Not interesting. It's like, damn. But then you go back further, and you get to like games of the past where like I was bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, and had hope and everything. Even like early Pokemon Arceus stuff is like crazy. I think I'm talking in circles. I'm sorry if I am. Like I said, this is just a stream to just air my... It's... You know, maybe that's also another reason why I'd scare a lot of people away during like this stream, where like kind of like talk down to them a lot of time. Because rather than doing like a private stream where I'm just talking to myself, like I just do a public stream like in hopes that somebody just understands my mindset, which the answer is like it never does. So I just talk down and like scare everyone else away, so that way I can just still have the open like forum of just like what's going through my brain. Because like I'm not going to talk to myself in a mirror for like 2-3 hours about like what's going on. I don't have a therapist, like I said. I don't have friends, like real life friends. I've get online, which are good. They're fantastic, and I would equate them very close to real life friends. There's something different about talking to somebody face to face over like a cup of coffee, or like just like having like getting some food, compared to I'm on Discord with like 4 or 5. It's like the Astronaut Airways song. Not just pixels on Discord, don't matter if I pray the stars. I wish I could see you, not just pixels on Discord. That's what it is. Like, that's the like the right way of thinking, in my opinion. So but like I feel like my best way to express my mind is on a public stream. The problem is with the public stream is 99% of people are going to hear what I'm saying and have no interest in what I'm saying at all and just think I'm a loser, which I know I am, but like more verbally talk about it. So then it gets to the mentality of, but if I scare them away with just like treating them that they are stupid, then they don't have to worry about stupid people trying to, like, further talk down to me. It's weird logic. It's a very big logical fallacy. There's gaps in the logic itself. But like that's just what's going through my mind the more I think about it. Because like most of the Pokemon streams of recent, like they'll start off like I think based on like the graph that you can see on like YouTube specifically. I don't know how it is on Twitch because I just don't really pay attention to any sort of views on Twitch. Even though I think Twitch does perform consistently better than YouTube. I don't pay attention to the analytics stuff anymore just because I wouldn't say it's like a waste of time. But like I already know it's just gonna be like really low. But you can see like there's a huge blip for people watching like the beginning of the stream, and there's like slight blips, but they'll just like go away just as fast. And I think it's mostly, like I said, because most people like will see the stream new and be like, "Oh, cool, we'll talk about Pokemon and chill and everything." And then you very quickly figure out that these Pokemon streams don't talk about Pokemon until I think the last time we actually did talk about Pokemon was probably like 4 or 5 shiny hunting streams in, where I think we just talked about like I think we might have done like a Smash or Pass for Pokemon. I think is what it was because Markiplier ended up doing something like that. But ever since then, it's either I have somebody in the call and it's just me being like just talking with them and letting them speak, and I'm just listening, and trying to respond the best I can, or me just being just superbly depressed and filled with anxiety, and just wanting an open forum for me to talk to that no one will listen to. There were like I remember way back when there was a general idea of like, oh, Kit, you should write like a diary or like a journal. This all like help with your thoughts. And I tried doing that. However, it very quickly turned very, very dark. I don't think the diary is here. There is a possibility that I grabbed the diary because I don't think I got rid of it or anything. But there was a diary that I had that I started writing in around the time the original Katathi, the girl that I crushed on, like, I wrote in it during then, and then I also wrote in it after, like, a whole bunch of other stream stuff happened, and it definitely looked like, if I'm being honest, the ramblings of somebody who was just at the end of their rope and just waiting for that reason just to leave. And I remember reading it back, God, it would have been like 4 years ago, I would say. Well, no, I wrote in it, so what is that, 10 years ago is when I originally wrote in it, 9 or 10 years. And then I read it again before I moved here. I know, because I still had it, and I know I just kept writing in it. And it just scarred me, just what I wrote about, just like what my thought process was. I could only imagine how it sounds on a stream, but like nothing was coherent. Like reading it back, nothing was really coherent with what was going on through my brain. And here, at least since I'm able to like orate the like the thoughts, I feel like it's a lot better. But then that begs the question, because if I do this private, then I just have no urge to talk because I know it's private. But if it's public, no, I think that's just the actual thing. I mean, hopefully we get done with Arceus, or like maybe I'll have some more interesting people. I doubt it. I think I'm realizing very quickly that I'm much more interesting to bring on to other people's streams rather than coming onto my own streams. That's fair, I think. I think that's completely fair. But yeah. I know. I told myself I wasn't going to be streaming this game for a while until I got the content idea down, which that's my thing for tomorrow. Sorry, I'm listening to music still. So here's what I'm thinking. We're gonna be ending off the stream here soon, shiny or not. I really hope we find a shiny Eevee, but it's not looking super likely. It's what it is. I am going to like officially, and I mean like officially get like the plans in line for the videos. I want to do 4 games at the same time, like streaming 4 games at the same time. Not at the same time, but like you know, like stream a day sort of thing. Or I want to do like 1 or 2. Dead by Daylight already has the idea, but the problem is that some of the perks that I need to use are currently blocked from being used, so I have to hold off on that idea for a bit. And this one's pretty straightforward. I do still have the footage for the Path of Solitude, so like we will keep that rolling. But since I'm like redoing everything, I need to like really sit back and not only talk with like Ray and Sparks for like thumbnails and stuff, and so same with Spring, but I need to like see, okay, what's the video that I am going to make? What is the video I'm going to make? And keep in mind that I'm going to be like essentially restarting from scratch. What's the plan? And I need to get like everything set up. And luckily, like the way it works with like all the footage, I need to figure out. Well, actually, no, it's because Flora's computer is just insanely good. Because Flora's able to like record and stream at the same time, and I've been having like so much difficulty like doing that. But I think I think with my laptop setup, it's fine. I think that is a-okay. I need to get some SSD hard drives because I'm an idiot in that respect. But like I can use that footage, transfer it to my main computer, and then use that for editing. So like I need to like get an idea of like what my what the actual like look is gonna be. Right? And I need to figure out like what the 4 games are. I think it's gonna be like Dead by Daylight, Arceus, Hades, and Stellar Blade. But there's like other games that I want to get through like in that time too. So I guess it's gonna be more now that I think about it. I don't know. I've been like doing all the recordings and everything like that. And I know like the footage looks fine. It's gonna be like voiced over with different stuff. But I don't know. I feel like I'm like fucking stupid when it comes to all this stuff. Sorry, we're gonna do one more search and then done. Yeah, I don't know. I just need to get just an idea of like, what am I recording? What do I need to do? And then I was gonna try to do the replay buffer for like extreme stuff, but I think it's just way better if I just do it on my laptop. I think I want to like hook something up so I can just press a button and then I can. So that might be what I do. Anyway, that we got nothing taken care of. Straight up nothing. All right. stood right up. No EV. I did forget, like, what else I need. Like, I know I need, like, Cyndaquils and stuff. I mean, there's still, like, just more. They got so many shinies that just get rid. Oh, yeah. Well, there's also the Alpha Den. I guess I forgot about that. There is... One of these is... Is it you? Yeah, I guess you're the... Because, yeah, I need to get all the Pokemon and stuff, too. But I'll have to figure that out later. That's why I was waiting on there. Oh, that makes more sense. It's dumb. City. This is a shiny beat. So let's just move these. Let's get them out. Get them out. If anyone wants them, again, I do not care just to trade these. The problem is, like, people just don't like to trade, and I don't get why, and that's just what it is. So. All right, I'm gonna end off the stream here. I have a lot that I want to work tomorrow. I should be streaming early in the day. What's the hope? The hope is I'm gonna stream early in the day. The likelihood is just negligible, I guess. I don't know. So, anyway, with that all being said, I thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Have a wonderful day, night, morning, afternoon, night, or evening. Of course, my name is Katathi, and I'll see you all next time for some more Fighting Gaming. See you later. Peace. Bye, everyone.